Welcome back to the Dark Souls Mod Showcase series, where in episode number 4 we talk about the DSMFix mod. I'm Fox with Foxio Games, as always. So, if you didn't know that, now you do. DSMFix stands for Dark Souls Mouse Fix, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It fixes the mouse controls in the game. Believe it or not, Dark Souls can be controlled by mouse and keyboard in addition to an Xbox 360 gamepad. In fact, you might not know this, but Dark Souls comes by default with a full control scheme and keyboard layout for playing the game using the keyboard only. Yes, no mouse, no gamepad, just the keyboard. Anyway, the DSMFix makes it so that players who prefer mouse and keyboard, or players who refuse to buy a gamepad for their PC, can actually play and enjoy the experience. The default mouse controls in the game are, well, terrible. They're clunky, jittery, and just plain awful for a game that requires so much precision. While I feel very strongly that Dark Souls needs to be played with a quality gamepad, and not surprisingly the developers suggest the same thing on the Steam store page, well, it is still possible to play with mouse and keyboard. Some people actually tell me that they prefer the PC Classic control scheme. I think these people are masochistic and probably enjoy other forms of self-inflicted pain, but more power to them. If you're one of those PC elitists who just cannot lower himself or herself to the dirty peasantry status of using a gamepad, then knock yourself out and pick up the DSMFix. As a side note, gamepads have been a part of PC gaming since the earliest days of PC games, but whatever, that's another argument for another day that I probably will make at some point. DSMFix is easy to install. You drop it into your Dark Souls data folder just like the DSFix and the DSCFix, and then you chain the DLL file through an INI file. Which INI file depends on whether you have DSCFix installed, which we talked about in the last episode. And you should. Basically, the ideal setup is to install DSFix, then install DSCFix and chain it through the dsfix.ini, and then install DSMFix and chain it through the dscfix.ini. Yes, that sounds quite confusing, but it's really not. To install both of these mods, you just modify one line in two different INI files. That's it. Just one line here and one line there, and boom, both now work together. What's the performance impact of DSMFix? None, but there is something you need to know. There's a common bug that when DSMFix is installed, it seems to disable gamepad input entirely. That is to say, you can't have the DSMFix installed and use a gamepad at the same time. Some people claim they can, but I can't, and I'm not alone. In fact, I'm never really alone. There's always somebody here in my home, either my cat, my dog, my other dog, or a beautiful Korean woman who still lives with me after 14 years of being together. You know, sometimes I wonder, will I ever truly be alone? Anyway, I got off script, guys. Give me just a second to find where I was. Okay, I found it. Again, I can't stress enough how much better I think the game controls would be with a gamepad, and you don't even need a 360 controller. You can use an Xbox 360 controller input emulator to use any gamepad that you can connect to your PC. People have used their PS3 controllers, third-party controllers, and even your basic cheap Logitech dual analog stick controller that you can find at just about any retailer that has computer stuff. Trust me, if you're serious about PC gaming, you really should pick up a gamepad. Some games just control better with it. Don't get me wrong, some games are superior with a mouse and keyboard, but mouse and keyboard aren't universally the best for everything. At any rate, guys, and that includes you ladies, because when I say guys, I'm using it in an inclusive sense that incorporates both genders. Anyway, make sure to click the like button, not necessarily the lick button. You'll have to watch the last episode to see what I mean by that. And subscribe for more Dark Souls mod showcases. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go listen to some Phil Collins. I will see you guys later.